Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of your OGR, as today we're going to be talking about Game 5 as the Edmonton Oilers fall to the St. Louis Blues in a 2-0 L, and this is just another disappointing game from the Edmonton Oilers as we continue to see players just not play very well, like Kane, Kulak, who's just not been the guy that we've been needing in that top four. Yamamoto continues to struggle offensively, and just so many things that we continue to struggle on, especially 5-on-5. Jack Campbell had an amazing game, but we continue just to struggle defensively. Even though we didn't give up a whole lot of goals, we gave up a whole lot of chances because of the fact we weren't able to break it out of our zone or even just make nice defensive plays, or we were hemmed in our zone for so damn long we couldn't get it out of our own zone. It was so much stuff that we got to complain about, but before we get into this, I'd like to just say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. It'll be very much appreciated there, boys. So let's get into talking about this game here between the Blues and the Oilers. And honestly, the Blues, they just played a better game than the Edmonton Oilers. This was a game where it wasn't a whole lot of high scoring action, and it was weird because I thought we were going to see a high scoring action between these two teams, just the way that the Blues are built defensively, and the same thing with the Edmonton Oilers. I thought this was going to be an all just score and showcase between these two teams. I even put the over on this game and unfortunately did not win out on that one very well. It should have been an under without a doubt. But this was a game where the Blues just hemmed in the Oilers in their own zone. Didn't allow McDavid and that top line to do nothing, which we are going to be talking a lot about Kane and Yamamoto as well. And talking about how we shouldn't be hating a lot on Puljujärvi, and we should really be moving towards our talk towards Kane and Yamamoto, who have been absolutely struggling to start off this season. Kane has just been absolutely abysmal, to say the least, to start off the season, only having one goal in the first 5 games of the season, which honestly I think is absolutely unacceptable when you have picked up this player to be the big goal scoring player, and he hasn't really done very much since the start of the season. And, talking about Yamamoto and even Puljujärvi can be brought into this discussion of finishing their opportunities. Puljujärvi's been a great guy at generating offense and playing really well defensively, but he needs to start finishing those opportunities. I think it was Nielsen from TSN said that, we got 3 goals from Yamamoto and Puljujärvi in the last 20 games, including the playoffs. And Yamamoto's only had 3 goals. Puljujärvi's only had 4. We need to see a lot more production out of those guys, especially since, they're our 2 big right winger guys. We really need to see that production from them, and we haven't been. So those are players that we're going to be talking about a little bit later on, but we definitely need to start seeing a little bit more production out of those guys. Moving forward, though, we'll get into the quick scoring summary, as the first goal of the game was scored by Torrey Krug on the power play for the St. Louis Blues. Now, this was just an absolute howitzer. Campbell wasn't ready, plus he was getting screened by Kulak in front of the net, and it just went right by Jack Campbell. It was a great shot by Krug and put the Blues up 1-0. Nothing up happened for the rest of the game until Falk got the empty netter, who was just a great shot. He was all the way in the corner. It was able to shoot it right into the center of the net. Absolutely amazing shot from Falk. But that's really all we got to talk about. That's really about it that we got to talk for the scoring summary, because quite honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of goals to talk about last night because, well, the Oilers this afternoon, because it was an afternoon game today, the Oilers just got hemmed in their own zone. They really just got killed out there. They didn't play a very great game, to say the least. There's tons of stuff that you could critique about this team. McDavid just really had a rough night. He was trying to get things going, but, every time he got into the zone, it seemed like the play just dead ass stopped on Kane's stick. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Kane here, because I felt like Kane just didn't have a great game, and he hasn't had a great few games over the past little ones. And honestly, people say that, the offense stops on Puljujärvi's stick or whatever. This play has been stopping on Kane's stick. There was so many opportunities where Kane didn't make an obvious pass to someone that was in front of the net. I remember there was a chance for Puljujärvi, and I think it was a shift between McLeod, Kane, and Puljujärvi. I think it was a shift after the power play, and Puljujärvi was wide open in front of the net. Instead of Kane making the smart pass, Kane just went behind the net, lost the hand of the puck, and went down the ice. This has been kind of a Kane thing over the past few games, where he's making really dumb passes, and I've been seeing that. He tried to make a pass over to Yamamoto, and it was way far behind behind him or too far ahead of him. Kane's not a great passer. We all know that. But we want him to be able to have good offensive possession in the offensive zone and not just handing it over to the St. Louis Blues. And same with Yamamoto here. Yamamoto had a little bit of a better night than Kane, but every time he touched the puck, it seemed like it died on his stick as well. Every time he went into a corner, every time he, had someone come against him and rub him up against the boards instead of trying to chip it in deep, he didn't chip it in hard enough. It always ended up back in the St. Louis Blues' hands. So I think there's definitely a lot of work, and I think that top line is really not working between McDavid, Kane, Yamamoto, and quite honestly, I wasn't a big fan of it. Now, what do? I think maybe bumping up Puljujärvi is not a bad bet. Trying to put him up on the top line, because I think Puljujärvi had an amazing night, but I've been really liking Puljujärvi alongside of McLeod and Foegele. Not a really big fan of Foegele, but even then, Fogel's been looking really good alongside of McLeod and Puljujärvi, and I think that's just been an absolute incredible line, to say the least, and I've been a real big fan of it. They've been doing a lot of great things out there. McLeod and Puljujärvi looked absolutely amazing this past night. I think there were, a few players I really enjoyed throughout the night, especially the Hyman Draisaitl Nuge line. At moments, I was like, they're not having a great night, but Nuge, Draisaitl, and Hyman were probably one of our best lines alongside of the McLeod, Puljujärvi, and Foegele line throughout the night. They were our two best lines. They just weren't able to finish any of their opportunities, and the St. Louis Blues just did an absolute amazing job of shutting us down. But for us to be successful here, we need to get the goal scoring from those players like Puljujärvi, like Kane, like Yamamoto. We need to get them finishing their opportunities, because that's what we're paying them to do, is to finish those offensive opportunities. We kept it down by 2 goals, which is a huge thing for us. We were able to play not terribly defensively, but there were still a lot of defensive mistakes that we did make. It's just Jack Campbell bailed us out on a lot of those opportunities, but we need to start finishing on a lot of them, and we need to see a little bit more offensive production from a lot of our other guys. Even Hyman, Nuge, they had amazing nights last night, and I'm not going to bail them out on this one because they did have great nights tonight as well. But Kane and Yamamoto are 2 big players that I think really need to be keen on right now and need to play a lot better 5-on-5 wise if we're going to be winning more games, because we can't just be winning and losing to start off the season. We got to get into a consistent pace to go throughout the rest of the season, but definitely not a great game 5-on-5 wise. We'll move on to the defenseman. Bouchard, I thought, had a really good game. He was just breaking on the puck so smoothly. He was just really playing a great game and didn't play that bad defensively. I was a real big fan of him. Niemelainen, I can't quite complain about Niemelainen. I didn't really mind him. I didn't play terrible. He's not given a lot of minutes anyways, but I was talking about how he's really not ready, but he didn't do that bad this afternoon. I thought he played quite well. And then Nurse, he had an all right night. He played a lot of minutes. He played 26 minutes tonight, and he was just all over the place. Did a lot of good things. Murray, he was okay. CC, I was really not a big fan of CC. I thought he just could not handle the puck. Every time he touched the puck, it died on him. Every time he tried to clear it out of his own zone, it died on him. He basically gave it right back to the Blues. He just had a real bad night defensively. Didn't look quite well. He looked really clunky in the game. Barry didn't look that great. And then Kulak, I was really hopeful on Kulak this upcoming season. I was thinking that, I was a little skeptical. I'm like, yeah, we need to definitely upgrade in our top 4. And the thing that's so funny, I've been saying about this for fucking years, is we need to upgrade big time in our defense. We need to go pick up somebody that is well worth it. And I will say this right now, I will pay whatever for Jacob Chikrin. We absolutely need to. This team can't just continue to be a struggling team and wait for fucking Broberg and other defensemen to develop when our time to win is now. We have great players in their primes, and McDavid and Draisaitl and so many other players. Once they are performing, we have some really good players on this team that honestly could push for the Stanley Cup. It's just what's weighing us down is this shitty defensive core. I'm not going to rely on Brett Kulak. He's been terrible to start this season off. Every time someone dashes up, he burns a tire. He burned a tire against the Carolina Hurricanes and ended up being a goal, or against the Flames, ended up being a goal. Last night he got bailed out, but it's not going to always happen like that. He's not always going to get bailed out. So I think Kulak, with the less minutes he's been getting, he's been playing a lot better, but even then, he's just has not been looking very good out there. And I think is definitely something we need to actively shop right now, is for a top 4 D-man, and we need to pay whatever we can get for Jacob Chikrin. And then Shore and Ryan, I thought they were bad. I wasn't really a big fan of those two guys. They didn't really do a whole lot out there for the Edmonton Oilers. So I thought every time they touched the puck throughout the night, the play died on them, and they didn't really play a whole lot of ice time throughout the game anyways, but they just weren't that great. And honestly, the Edmonton Oilers need to play a lot better 5-on-5 wise. You know, we definitely did a lot better defensively. The Blues didn't get as much shots. It was definitely kind of a back and forth game. You know, I went down to the Blues end and went back to the Oilers end, and then it went back down, and then we would get stuck in our own zone, and it was really just back and forth, and just not a favorable game towards us, to say the least. Jack Campbell did do very well, though. I did like his game. He, for the first time, only just allowed 1 goal, and he actually had a good save percentage, so I quite liked what Jack Campbell did. I thought he had a good game. It's just the Edmonton Oilers didn't get any scoring behind him. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We need to definitely upgrade in our defense, and we need the big guys that we have re-signed in Kane, Yamamoto, and especially even Puljujärvi on that note as well, to start finishing their opportunities and to start getting some more action going. I've been liking Puljujärvi's game, and same with McLeod. I thought they played absolutely amazing in this afternoon's game. And then some other players, Drysdale, thought played amazing as well. But for now, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Adios, amigos.